Deep underground, behind layers of reinforced concrete and armed guards, sits a heavy steel vault door. When the locking mechanisms rotate and the door pulls open, it reveals a fortress designed to protect humanity's most prized possession. Inside the storage room, stacks of yellow bars sit quietly behind metal mesh cages. There are thousands of them here, carefully cataloged and strictly guarded. This metal cannot feed you. It cannot shelter your family from the cold. It doesn't generate electricity, and it doesn't pay a dividend. In a survival situation, it is little more than a heavy yellow paperweight. Yet for 5,000 years, people have crossed oceans, fought wars, and spent their lives digging it out of the ground. The human drive to possess this rock is so intense that it has shaped the map of the modern world. Because this metal offers no survival value, wealth must be a concept entirely separate from utility. To understand our global economy, we have to understand why we chose this specific rock to represent value. Early trade was a messy, localized experiment. Across different continents, people tried using everything from salt and cattle to seashells and heavy stones, searching for a way to carry the value of their labor across time and space. Most materials failed the test of time. Cattle die, salt dissolves in the rain, wood rots, and iron eventually turns to a pile of red dust. If you wanted to store your life's work for your children, you needed something that nature couldn't destroy. Gold emerged as the survivor. It is incredibly rare, but its real power is chemical. It refuses to react with oxygen or moisture. A gold coin buried in the mud for 2,000 years will emerge looking exactly as it did the day it was minted. Ancient empires used this permanence to project eternal power. The funerary mask of Tutankhamun is a message of immortality. The pharaoh's face remains bright and uncorrupted, while everything organic around it has turned to dust. This durability allowed gold to move from a royal decoration to a standardized unit of value. A necklace like this wasn't just jewelry. It was a dense, portable concentration of wealth that would never lose its physical integrity. Because gold is so dense, a small amount is heavy enough to prove it's real, making it nearly impossible to fake with ancient technology. It became a universal translator, allowing merchants from different cultures to trade without needing a shared language. Gold became the perfect vessel for value because its unyielding physical traits made it an incorruptible surface upon which humans could pin their trust. In the early days of modern finance, the gold standard meant that paper money was essentially a legal contract. This one-to-one tether meant your banknote was a physical claim ticket for a specific amount of metal held in a vault. But as global trade exploded and world wars drained national treasuries, governments struggled to find enough gold to back their growing economies. In 1971, under massive economic pressure, the system reached a breaking point, and the official link between the dollar and the gold bar was severed. This created a strange modern paradox. Even though gold is no longer the official backing for our currency, central banks and global investors continue to hoard the physical metal at rates we haven't seen in decades. When inflation eats away at the purchasing power of paper money, or when the global financial system feels unstable, the primal instinct to hold something indestructible returns. However, gold is not a guaranteed path to riches. Its price on the open market is volatile, and it can experience long periods of decline or stagnation, just like any other asset. Despite the complexity of digital banking, we still rely on this prehistoric reflex. We trust the metal when we stop trusting the institutions that print the paper. After 5,000 years of dominance, gold is finally facing a competitor born from the digital age. A new class of digital assets is attempting to replicate gold's scarcity and security through mathematics rather than geology. These systems offer the same limited supply without the need for high-security vaults or heavy transport. This dual timeline highlights the central debate in modern finance. Gold has 5 millennia of proven survival, while digital assets have only existed for a fraction of a human lifetime. One relies on history, the other relies on code. Technology is changing how we store our wealth, but it hasn't changed what we look for, a system that cannot be corrupted or manipulated by any single person. We have spent centuries obsessing over the chemical properties of this metal, but gold's value has always been an illusion. Gold is simply the most durable storage device we ever discovered for human trust. We didn't want the rock. We wanted a way to make sure our promises to each other would still be valid in 100 years. The physical metal was a tool, the best technology of its time for securing a social agreement. If trust is the actual asset, can a purely digital system, living on these server racks, capture that same human belief without needing a physical vessel at all? Whether we can finally move wealth out of the physical world is the focus of our next documentary.